How's it going, everyone? It's the Starfarer here. Welcome back to the channel and another video. Starfield is full of tiny details that are incredibly easy to miss, even on a second, third, or fourth playthrough. Bethesda is very well known for their incredible attention to detail in crafting some of gaming's most loved and detailed worlds and franchises, as we've seen with The Elder Scrolls and Fallout. Though Starfield is much newer than The Elder Scrolls or Fallout, Bethesda still managed to pack a ton of detail into the game, making the world feel lived in and interesting to come back to hour after hour. Today, I wanted to highlight 5 of these interesting details I've come across during my travels throughout the settled systems. We'll be heading to Freestar space on this journey, so be sure to grab a helping of shepherd's pie from Kay's house and a can of Canuck Maple Cola on your way out of New Atlantis, and let's head for the stars. For our first stop, let's make our way to the Volii system, where we'll find our favorite fishing platform turned pleasure city, Neon. And before anyone asks, yes, we will be headed to the Astro Lounge, but first, we need to make a quick stop at the Emporium. Neon is known as one of the more seedy areas of the settled systems, but there's one shop on the Neon core that stands above the rest. That is the Emporium. This is a shop run by a slightly snobby owner named Tevin Anastas. The shop itself has a collection of all sorts of items and even some rare earth antiquities if you look closely. It's one of Neon's more upscale shops, attracting a more discerning clientele than some of the others along Neon's core. Upon entering the Emporium, Tevin will make some offhand remarks about you, generally talking down and acting like you're beneath him. He'll gradually warm up to you, but don't let his initial abrasiveness turn you away from seeing a piece of human computing history residing on a desk in his store. A 1984 Apple Macintosh, the original Mac that changed the way we use computers forever. Now, yes, this isn't identical to a 1984 Mac, likely due to copyright, but it's pretty clear to see what Bethesda was going for with this. These 1984 Macs can be found in a few other locations around the settled systems, but this is one of the only ones that isn't in a display case or museum. Maybe I'll make a video down the road finding every 1984 Mac left in the galaxy. Anyways, if you want to see a piece of pristine 346-year-old computer equipment that has less computing power than Vasco's vocal processor, stop by the Emporium and demo a piece of human computing history today. For our next stop, we're not going far. Let's head out of the Emporium and towards the neon blue and pink staircase leading to the one and only Astro Lounge. The Astro Lounge is Neon's main tourist attraction and the only establishment legally allowed to sell the pleasure drug Aurora throughout the settled systems, though you can likely find it being peddled in Neon's seedy underbelly and smuggled out by careful criminals. Now, if you were fortunate enough to meet your parents relaxing in their apartment in New Atlantis, you'll know they are both retired and looking forward to spending time doing whatever they want in the later years of their lives. Heading into the Astro Lounge, though, you may see your parents enjoying their retirement in the Astro Lounge a little too much and being completely embarrassed to see you. Let's have a quick chat with them to see what they have to say for themselves.
Hello. Didn't expect to see you here. I'm glad at least one of us is having a good time. Your mother found a deal. One hell of a deal. An all-inclusive vacation package to Neon.
It's a retirement present.
And, well, everyone's heard about the Astro Lounge. Absolutely not.
Well, probably not.
No, we are not.
Wait, what are you doing here?
Yeah, nothing good happens here. I've been here long enough to know that.
It's obvious your parents are just a little bit embarrassed to see you here. They insist they're only here because they got a great deal on a vacation package, but I'm not buying it. After grounding them and sending them back to their cozy apartment on New Atlantis, let's head out ourselves and get back on the interstellar highway to our next stop. We'll be staying in Freestar space for this next one, heading over to the Polvo planet in the Valo system where we find a settlement called Hopetown. Hopetown is essentially fully controlled by a man named Ron Hope and his company HopeTech, a major ship manufacturer in the settled systems. HopeTech provides jobs and housing to its employees, and the residents and employees won't let anyone forget that Ron Hope is the only reason Hopetown is successful. Anyways, one of the only other employers in the settlement of Hopetown is a weapon, spacesuit, and apparel vendor called Best Defense, situated right next to the entrance of HopeTech, run by one Carlos Shenton. For the keen-eyed observers of the Elder Scrolls universe, something about this name, Best Defense, may ring a bell. While walking the streets of the Imperial City Market District in Cyrodiil, you may have come across a shop situated across the street from Rindir's staffs and next to the Office of Imperial Commerce called The Best Defense, which also sells weapons and armor of a different, more old-school variety. I thought this was a pretty awesome callback to one of my all-time favorite video games in Oblivion. Though these games are set in two entirely different universes and timelines, maybe Carlos Shenton is a great, and so on for thousands of greats, grandson of Varnado or Mero from the store in Cyrodiil, in one of the many alternate universes available after numerous trips through the Unity. For our fourth stop, we're going to stay put right here in Hopetown, this time talking to the man himself, Ron Hope. Ron is the founder and president of HopeTech and a member of the Freestar Collective's Council of Governors. Some would consider Ron Hope to be the de facto emperor of Hopetown, seeing as how he controls the jobs, living accommodations, and opportunities for the people of his little settlement. Let's head through the front doors of HopeTech and up to the office of Ron Hope, where we can chat with him and maybe see if you recognize his voice from anywhere else that you've heard.
If you're looking to make a purchase, I don't handle that personally. Inaya Raymond should be able to help you. I don't believe we have a meeting scheduled. You must be looking for someone else. Do you mind? I'm a very busy man. I started with nothing and built everything you see around you.
Remember earlier when I said that Ron Hope was the de facto emperor of his little settlement? Well, speaking of emperors, it's time to dive back into Tamriel, where you may recognize Ron Hope's voice from many previous Bethesda games. The voice actor for Ron Hope is Wes Johnson, who voiced many characters in the Elder Scrolls games along with a few Fallout games as well. Most notably, Wes voiced Sheogorath, Lucian Lachance, the Grey Fox, and all of the Imperial Guards in the Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion. If you were expecting Ron to quit whatever he was doing and run from a mile away just to say,
"Stop right there, criminal scum!"
you wouldn't be alone. Moving on to our fifth and final stop, we're just heading across the HopeTech courtyard to the Freestar Ranger outpost just inside the entrance to the city. The Freestar Rangers are the Freestar Collective's premier investigative and police force headquartered in Aquila City. They maintain outposts at all major Freestar locations, including this one here in Hopetown. As any member of the settled systems can attest, the Freestar Collective and United Colonies have a tenuous and slightly antagonistic relationship due to some major conflicts in the past. Speaking of which, I covered the most recent war between the two factions in my last video. Be sure to check that out after watching this one. Link will be above. Anyways, with the relationship between the factions being a little rocky, and only 20 years passing since the end of the Colony War, I'd say it's just a little bit surprising to see a member of the Freestar Rangers have multiple United Colonies posters in her living quarters. Some say that with the war being over for 2 decades, there's nothing to see here, but I think it's worth at least an eyebrow raise and surface-level investigation. Is Nia Kalu potentially a UC sympathizer? Though Nia seems loyal to the Freestar Rangers, maybe there's more to her loyalties than meets the eye. Anyways, that's where I'm going to call it today for our interesting detail-finding journey around Freestar Collective space. Starfield has so many cool details that you'll only find when stopping to smell the roses, and these are just a few of the cool details I've found so far. Thank you so much for watching and sticking around to the end of the video. Be sure to leave a comment about these details or any others you've come across in your journey, and feel free to subscribe if you'd like to see more Starfield content. As always, catch a smile out there, my fellow captains.